Spotlight on Anambra, weekly podcast summary, March 18th to 22nd, 2025. Welcome to Spotlight on Anambra, your number one weekly podcast powered by AnambraNews.ng, bringing you the latest updates and major events happening across the state. Here are this week's top stories. Governor Soludo celebrates 3 years in office. The governor of Anambra State, Governor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, celebrated his 3 years in office on Monday, March 17, 2025. It will be recalled that the governor was sworn into office on March 17, 2022, after winning the gubernatorial election of Anambra State on November 6, 2021. He kick-started his celebration with a Thanksgiving Mass at St. Patrick Catholic Church, and he granted several interviews and press releases where he stated his achievements, next steps, landmark projects, and what lies ahead for the state as he wraps up his first 4-year term.
This is still Spotlight on Anambra. We are going to be expanding on these top stories for the week. I am Onyinye, and with me I have my co-host,
regular guest, Ali Timothy Chena.
Okay, our first top story that we have for the week, Governor Soludo celebrates 3 years in office. Let's talk more about this.
Yeah, 3 years is actually worthy of celebration. We have had instances of people who won the election and did not even test the seats. And here we have somebody, Governor Soludo, His Excellency Governor Soludo, winning the Anambra going to the election, and stay and has been there up to today, so it's something to celebrate. And beyond that, Governor Soludo also has many reasons to celebrate, and that Anambrans are also happy with him. So there are many cause for him to celebrate. So the celebration that was marked with Holy Mass at St. Patrick, everywhere was fit to the brim. And that shows the kind of support he is masculating from the public, from Anambrarian. So it is a welcome development and is worth celebrating. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I believe the true word, yes, is celebration, because the governor deserves a lot of accolades. He has brought in a lot of change and a lot of development to Anambra State within these 3 years of his service. And Anambrarians are still expecting more. We are still expecting better. It has been a wonderful experience so far having him as a governor, although there are still areas that he still needs to touch. There are still areas that still need to be felt. But we are looking forward to him addressing those areas in future times. And if he is to come back for his second tenure, I believe that we will see more of that too before his final
before his second tenure. Don't forget you still have 1 year to go.
Yes, of course.
So there is much that can still be achieved within the 1 year.
Yes.
Being there already, he is not a learner on the seat. He has been there for the past 3 years. So this time around, we're not saying that he just entered the seat. So of course, he can achieve a milestone in 1 year. He can achieve a milestone in 1 year. So he can still achieve much. Yeah.
Labour Party blocks Senator Nwoye's bid for Anambra governorship, backs Abgas Soludo's re-election. During the 2023 elections, the Labour Party gained significant political ground in Anambra State, securing 2 senatorial seats, 7 House of Representatives seats, and 8 House of Assembly seats. The National Working Committee NWC of the Labour Party, LP, has refused to issue nomination forms to Senator Toyin Nwoye for the party's April 5th, 2025 governorship primaries for the Anambra State election. This move has brought about division among the party members and political observers, with allegations that the party's leadership compromised to support the re-election of Governor Chukwuma Charles Soludo of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA.
Moving on to our next top story for the week. talking about Labour Party refusing to give a nomination form to Tony Moye, and it has been alleged that they are throwing their support to Governor Soludo of the APGA party. Oh, how does this sound? I don't know.
I think with what the Labour Party has done in recent time, one can say almighty Labour Party, not having throwing their support to APGA, that must be strategic.
Speaks volumes.
That must be strategic. One would say, why did they do that? But I want to believe that this time around they didn't just come out and they decide to take that action. They must have slept over it. They must have held meeting. Yeah, yes. There must have been several meetings. Must have held several meetings before they come to that conclusion. But then the question is how healthy is that? Is it? How healthy is that to the party? They don't have any aspirant and gubernatorial stuff. It means that what will happen when it comes to other elections, like House of Assembly, like chairmanship election? What will happen? I think we still have the mini senators coming from Labour Party at the national in the Senate, and some even House of Assembly members that are coming from the Labour Party. So they are taking that decision to just throw their way behind the incumbent governor. It's something that I don't really understand why. But just as I said in the beginning, maybe they have taken decision and see that is the money that can give life to their party. You don't forget that Labour Party they has been involved in a lot of some issues that although that is common to parties, but they have been involved in some internal crisis, party crisis, internal crisis that is actually shaking their very foundation. So why they choose this decision is actually maybe it is actually going to help them strengthen their party. But the big question still remains: how will it affect their existence in the state? And that definitely may be sending a wrong signal to the party. If other states continue to say we're not feeding anybody, we are supporting the party at the government house, then that means that the party is not growing. So as far as it is good for APGA, and as far as it is good for the sitting governor, His Excellency Governor Soludo, I doubt it is very good for the party itself. But then they know why better than I do.
Well, for me, I don't think this really sits right for them, like even in your explanation, because they are a party on their own. They are a party that has that grew from a small minority, and they got full blown, especially because of Peter Obi and his political aspirations. And I don't know if they are trying to make this the end of Labour Party in Anambra State, because for a party to have their own sitting, this is Labour Party, but yet being supportive of another party. I don't know how.
To show you why the relevance of a party feeding a candidate in an election, even in 2023, when Peter Obi was the presidential aspirant in Labour Party, APGA went on to feed the candidate, because they knew that if they just say, okay, Peter B is our son, let's support him, they know that it's detrimental to the party, even at the state level. So that's why I can't really explain the reason behind they're taking that decision. But I would say congratulations to APGA and congratulations to the incumbent governor, His Excellency Governor Chukwuma Soludo. It's a plus for him. I'm sure he is wishing that other party would follow the same, do the same, and it will just be a walkover for him comes November 2025.
Anambra pastor who promised to heal blind and crippled persons fails to show up after public healing challenge. Pastor Jerry Nwachukwu, an Anambra-based clergyman of Bible-based church, failed to show up on Tuesday, March 18th, 2025, for a public demonstration of faith healing requested and scheduled by him. The pastor had earlier challenged a well-known philanthropist, Ezako Ejiofor Matthias, to present a blind and crippled person for miraculous healing in the name of Jesus Christ. The challenge was scheduled for 12 p.m. at United Primary School, Mukbo. On the said day, Ezeaku gathered a large number of blind and crippled persons at the venue, anticipating Pastor Jerry Wachuku's miraculous touch upon his arrival. After hours of waiting for the clergyman to arrive, he still didn't show up.
All right, another top story for the week. Anambra pastor who promised to heal the blind and crippled persons doesn't show up after a scheduled and public healing challenge. Oh wow, okay. Okay, I don't know. This sounds a bit funny to me.
Yeah.
It sounds a bit funny because why should a challenge be put up in the first place when that's the pastor, he knows quite well in his own standing that he did not mean what he said, because that's what I am understanding from this.
Did he tell you that?
That's what I am picking up from this. That is the signal is sending out to.
Yeah.
I believe that's the signal is sending out to every other person out there.
There is nowhere in the Bible that Bible supports doing a challenge with miracle. There was never a place in the Bible. In Deuteronomy chapter 6, God warned Israel that they should not put him to test. And that was replicated too in Matthew chapter 4. Jesus clearly said that you should not put the Lord your God to test. And when you remember when Jesus came to, I think Galilee, when Jesus came to his own hometown, one of the things that one of the story that was told in the scripture in the Bible was when Jesus said, but it was said that Jesus could not perform a miracle because his people could not believe in him. So he don't perform miracle to an unbeliever. They didn't say that Jesus did not perform. He said Jesus could not, because his people were telling him, we have been hearing what you did in other places. Come and do it in our place so that we see it. So it was like they were inviting Jesus to show his power. And Bible said that Jesus could not. Not that he didn't say Jesus did not. So miracle performing is for those who believe. It's for those who have faith. So when I heard the story that there is going to be such challenge, for me, I took it that the pastor did not mean it, because no pastor who understands the scripture would actually go and engage in challenge with anybody, even if actually you do miracles. No, because God will likely fail you. God will fail you because he never asked you to. He's not a magician. So his miracle is for those who have faith. Miracle happen to those who have faith, not for those who are doubting your power. Remember when Jesus was on the cross? Some people say you healed others. That means they knew that Jesus healed others. But they say you healed others. You raised some from life. They knew. Okay, come down from there by yourself. Of course, Jesus had the power to come down from the cross, but he didn't. So when I heard the story that there would be such challenge, one is that I didn't expect the pastor to go, and two, I didn't see the pastor as being serious with going, because I know that even if he is actually a healer, God will definitely fail him right there, except he is a magician that went there with some, mystical powers to perform that miracle. God doesn't encourage showcasing power. God don't do it. So when I heard that the pastor did not actually go, it was actually what I expected. But then putting up the challenge on the first place, saying that he's going to come and is what I didn't understand what the pastor meant by that. Yeah.
Okay. Like I said earlier, and I'm still standing on those grounds. I believe the pastor did not really mean what he said from my own point of view, because for him not to have attended at the end of the day speaks a lot of volumes, shows that it was something that maybe he just said just for public attention.
But then being that he was talking to the public, he knew that the other person was serious.
Yes,
he shouldn't have.
We've had cases like this previously before.
Yeah,
I think with Odumeje about walking on the River Niger, and some other pastors too that challenge traditionalists and the rest. Yeah. So I feel most times those things come out as publicity stunts just to gather attention, maybe to that pastor or something. Maybe he feels that area might give him more, might showcase him more. I believe after that Odumeje's situation of walking on water, he became public on social media. He became public on social media. Everybody then found out about him. So I think sometimes some of these ideas are these pastors trying to come out for people to know that they exist. Probably people don't, like the whole populace don't know that they exist. Just their small locality knows about them. So that's what I feel.
You know better.
All right.
ATMA conduct street sensitization campaign. A comprehensive street sensitization campaign was recently conducted in major cities within Anambra State by the Anambra State Traffic Management Agency, ATMA. This initiative was carried out in order to raise awareness among road users on the essential traffic regulations and improving road safety practices. Highlights of the campaign include sensitization on obeying traffic lights, the use of pedestrian bridges, the prohibition of street trading, guidelines for commercial vehicle operations, the importance of obtaining waivers from the Ministry of Transportation for the use of motorbikes in Oka and Onitsha metropolitan cities. Furthermore, the event provided a platform to showcase the newly branded ATMA buses, generously funded by Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, CFR, which would help enhance their job and play a crucial role in carrying out their duties. ATMA acknowledges the continuous support from Governor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, CFR, his visionary leadership and commitment to the development of Anambra State have been instrumental in the agency's productivity and success.
Okay, I think I like this one.
Yeah, very, very much.
I think
ATMA is on a positive note this time. Yeah, on a good book now. Yeah, this time around. The ATMA being on a public sensitization, I think there are many reasons for that. One is that with the traffic lights being functional, they have less traffic work to do. And so the reason that now that we have all this time, what do we do with it? I don't know whether that sensitization is part of their primary duty, but they're being creative about going about to sensitize the people is a highly welcome development. Yes, very highly welcome. When you look at the content of what they were actually sensitizing people on, they are also something that is what public knowledge. So they're taking this decision is a highly welcome one. And I also see it as a means of keeping relevant. You know, if you employ somebody and at a point in time you see that that person's work is not needed, you don't have any work to do, what do? You start thinking of sack.
Yeah, cool.
But this time around, they're getting involved in this sensitization. Nobody will say that they are not relevant. The government, the employer will still see that they are doing some work, and nothing like other downsizing or sacking them. It will not come to their mind. Yeah. So I encourage them to do more. They can think more. And that another thing is that it also build their positive image. You know, it's built on their image. They sell their image to the public positively. So so most of the time, what we know ATMA for is holding people's car and jumping into it and asking people to pay such a high amount of money. But this time around, I'm hearing them that doing sensitization. So it's a highly welcome development, and that will make the public to start getting in love with them. Start making them being endeared to the public.
Okay, for APMA, I believe their job is like two-faced because they have to be upright in the discharge of their duties and also have to ensure that the public are following strictly to these rules and regulations of the traffic. So, as they are ensuring that the public is doing their part, I believe they should also be sensitized because it's not just about the public standing right with these traffic rules and regulations. What about them in the discharge of their duties? We need to also see more of sensitization for ATMA officials, just not just for the public alone, but for also ATMA officials, so that we can start hearing more positivities about these ATMA officials and their discharge of their duties. Because for a long time now, we have been hearing the wrong side of these officials, and it's high
Exactly.
time they start correcting these things through sensitizing their officials and ensuring that the public now knows that this is the way we do, this is how we discharge our duties, and we see it in their discharge of duties on the roads. It's not just about them sitting in halls and getting talks and this and that, but still coming out to the roads to be as they were before. But implementing those awareness, implementing those sensitization in the discharge of their duties.
Yeah, that is to say that the doctor too need a doctor.
Of course, of course.
That's a
That's,
good
that's
one.
a clear
That's a good
definition
one.
of it, of course.
Yeah, that's
All
good.
right, moving on to another top story for the week.
Anambra residents unhappy about epileptic power supply. Residents of Anambra has in recent times complained about the poor electricity supply in their areas by the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company, EEDC, stressing on the fact that the exaggerated estimated billing they get from the company is not equivalent to the power supply they are given. Some complained about the voltage being rather low, that it barely powers their minor appliances. Others complained of poor maintenance of electricity facilities in their areas and also being made to pay for the installation of equipment such as prepaid meters, electric poles, cables, transformers, and cable separators whenever required.
Okay, I think this is an issue we have in Anambra State. Comparing, I don't know, comparing to Abia State, that's one of the eastern states in Nigeria. There has been a lot of improvements in their electricity distribution because of their governor, the new governor that has been ensuring that a lot of changes are happening here and there. And then I think this electricity issue now is one area that the governor has not really looked into. I believe so, because till now, there were some rumors of promises in the past from the side of the governor that there was going to be constant power supply in Anambra State. But what are we having today?
Okay, the power supply is in Anambra is undertaken by EEDC, Enugu Electricity Distribution Company, and saying that Anambra people are happy with electric power supply. I think that is, do I say humongous statement? Is a very huge statement, because I know that for me in my area where I live, Oka capital city, area of the capital city, we enjoy relatively constant light, except like for some days now that there is a outage. There's for some like kind of a whole day, like yesterday, there was a outage almost the whole day. Other days we used to have a a considerable time of supply of energy. Compared to the past, one would say that yes, they are trying these days. But then don't forget the other thing that they talk about is so in this case we are talking about where in which area is actually complaining about light. Maybe it might be some part of Anambra, not actually everywhere.
But some part of Anambra is still Anambra.
Yeah. But when you say Anambra, when you have positive on one part and negative on one side, you have to be specific. You can, I can, government agencies that are given the task of protecting the public in terms of this kind of business should come into play. The what they call them, these people that are Consumer Protection Agency, CP or so, they should find out if actually the meter that are brought to people are actually I'm talking about at the end users of electricity. They should try to find out if the meter are actually showing what people are actually consuming. It has to be done because that is their duty. They ought to protect the public because sometimes, personally, I too doubt if what one is paying for this electricity stuff is actually what we are consuming. And coming from the fact that many people are ignorant, many people don't know how to test what they are consuming, then these agencies must help out. They need to find out if the what people are consuming, the meter is actually giving the right reading. Because I think personally I'm aware that some meters actually, some people do say that when they use a particular amount of units, they use it at longer time. When others will tell you a different story. So that need to be verified. This has to be verified. Those people who are tasked with protecting the public interest in terms of these private companies should wait in, and they also, like another mentioned in that in the news that you just talked about is payment for meters. I don't know, most of the time what I hear is that meter is free. Meter is free. But personally, even me, they brought meter to me and I was charged that I must go and pay in something. They brought meter and I must charge that I must go and pay into EDC before I start using the meter. In fact, they cut my light until I pay for the meter. So, all these things will always prevail when public complaints are not well attended to. Sometimes you have to begin to ask if some government agencies are accomplices to this, because it is said that he who keeps silence agrees. So when the government agencies that are ought to do their work and find out some of the public complaints that public are giving, if they are not, we are not seeing a good result coming from there, one can begin to assume or allege that they too are accomplice in that. So yes, these are some of those things that they say there is actually true. But personally, for me, I think I'm enjoying light to a greater length of the day in my area. So that is it. I'm talking about, like I mentioned, I'm talking about Oka area, the capital city of Anambra. Specifically in Ifite area. We are enjoying good light there. The only thing we can join them to complain is the high amount of money we pay into to recharge, and the amount of money we pay into recharge, and also the request to pay certain amount of money when they get to no meter. These are the things that I will join them to complain. Yeah.
Okay. Looking at analyzing this further, I would like to say that the government or the governor is a governor or government of a whole, because you're personalizing it to that in your area. What about in other areas? The governor is a governor of Anambra State. He's not a governor of Oka. He's not a governor of Ifite. He's a governor of Anambra State. So if Oka, I feel Oka is the capital city of Anambra State. So there are some privileges because the government presence is more felt in Oka. So there are some privileges that the capital city will be getting rather than so many other places. So I believe that the governor should be a governor for every single part, every single corner, every single locality, every single region in Anambra State. If this area is complaining and they are complaining bitterly, it's high time you look into that area to be able to.
But don't forget that the supply of energy is not a governor's job. It is private-owned company, EEDC, that is doing it. So the much we can encourage the governor to do is to see how they can generate more light that the same EEDC can buy and disseminate to those areas that are not actually having much light, or going for alternative source of energy, providing those areas with alternative source of energy. That is much we can tell the governor to do. But as for generally what we are and the source of energy everybody is enjoying now is from EEDC, which buy from TCI, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. They buy from there and then sell to the public. So But then that does not foreclose governor from wading into people the complaint of his people, to seeing how what can be done about addressing it. Of course, he is needed there. He is still a father, and father always hear the cry of the children.
Of course, he's a shepherd of the sheep.
Yeah.
All right, that's that about that. Moving on to another top story for the week.
WHO official warns over high rate of tuberculosis spread in Anambra State. At the end of a week-long training of general health workers on direct observed treatment, short course expansion for tuberculosis, leprosy, and Brulai ulcer held in Oka on the 19th of March 2025, Dr. Ufoma Edu, the Zonal B officer of the organization for the southeastern part of the country, while making a remark, announced that an official of World Health Organization (WHO) has revealed that tuberculosis has affected approximately 2 in 1,000 residents in Anambra. In his words, we are supporting Anambra to strengthen access to tuberculosis services and to help reduce the burden of tuberculosis. He further thanked Governor Soludo for his unwavering support to ensuring Anambra is tuberculosis free.
Yes, tuberculosis is a disease, is a bronchial disease. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I know that it is a disease that has an airway disease. It's an airway disease.
Affects the lungs.
Yeah, and the lungs, and just like one coughing without stopping. And I think it's caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. That is the bacteria that causes it. And how does it spread? I'm not a doctor, but I know that I'm aware from my basic knowledge of biology that bacteria sometimes it's transmitted through, like if an infected person spit out cough, through sputum. We call it sputum. If maybe at the point that it get dried off, and it can get dried off and become mobile, it can blow it. If it has somebody, like if it is on this road and the vehicle is passing and blow it up, if it enters somebody's nose, nostril, if somebody breathes it in, can from there start growing. So yeah, these are some means of contact. Some means that it is contacted, and it is a very bad disease, because someone suffering from tuberculosis can wake up in the night coughing, non-stop coughing. It's a very deadly disease. So the WHO, coming to Anambra to say that 1 or 2 out of 1,000 Anambra is suffering from that disease. One may say, what does 2 mean in 1,000? But because it is a contagious disease, if one person is carrying it, that person has potential of spreading it to 100, and that's why it should be taken serious. So so long as it is existing at all in Anambra, Anambra is, at least, I will say Anambra. I don't know where Anambra is not more than 4 million. The population of Anambra is more than 4 million. I know. So if that 4 million, it means that you have about 20, and that 20 transmit to 20. Before you know it, many people are suffering from it. So I think that much awareness is needed. I think I call for let the society begin to operate on a kind of volunteerism. That WHO or whoever, the health sector, can start to think of people from different locations volunteering to come to be trained on how to carry out sensitization on awareness of all these diseases, the way they spread, the way they are contacted, and how to avoid them. I think that will go a long way. That at community levels, be it church level, be it village level, people can begin to share to people, tell people about this disease and how they can, avoid contacting them. And that will go a long way at preventing the disease instead of being on the side of curing them. So,
of course. And as a disease that is highly communicable, it's extremely necessary to tackle it before it gets worse. No matter the
size,
yes, no matter the size or the little amount that they feel that it's it is, because like you said, that 2 to 1,000 might seem so small, but for the fact that it's a communicable disease that can be easily spread, there's a need to address it. There's a need to completely eradicate it from Anambra State. And that sensitization, that awareness is very necessary, especially when it comes to the primary healthcare centers, when it comes to the teaching hospitals, even the private hospitals. Everybody, every sector should be involved in this for them to be able to control all of these communicable diseases in Anambra State, because we don't want to have a situation where it turns to an epidemic where we have to start where then it now has to turn to measures of trying to prevent getting
Start managing it.
Yes, trying to prevent to start managing it, and people start being afraid of that your neighbor has it and you can easily get it. So I think it's best to start now that the number is still very small than when it grows to something quite big. All right, let's move to our next top story for the week.
APC face internal party crisis as primary draws closer. The All Progressive Congress (APC) World Congress election held across the 326 wards in 21 local government areas, meant to select delegates for the gubernatorial primary election, has created confusion among the APC aspirants, with allegations that the 8-man Congress committee has gone into hiding. However, the delay in announcing the results has created anxiety among the 7 governorship aspirants cleared by the APC National Secretariat in Abuja. Accusations are flying, with some pointing fingers at the state leadership of the party, which is allegedly attempting to compromise the exercise.
The top story we have for the week is the APC faces internal party crisis as primaries draw closer. All right, looking at this with the fact that we have about 7 aspirants that took up the nomination form for the APC, I don't think this is telling good about the party in Anambra State. I think we should expand more on this.
Yeah, this is very, very bad signal to opposition coming from opposition. Last week when we were talking about those in APC, I think I can recall saying that this is going to be a battle of titans, and you can see that it has begun. That the election primary World Congress, I think, was held, and the result withheld, and those who connected are hiding. Well, I don't know why they are hiding for now until they come out and tell us. But it is already sending a bad signal. The people will have to disagree that whatever result we are coming out with is not the right result because of this kind of thing. So this is already leading the party to further internal crisis, which may consume them. With regards to the forthcoming gubernatorial election. Because if they cannot have their rights in order, then how can they battle outside, battle with the other parties in the state? So before we were thinking that APC was a party to beat, a party to actually pose threat to the ruling party, but you can see it, and I think these are some of the reasons that is giving the governor, the courage that I don't have a strong opposition, So these are the things, and it's not too good, in as much as, of course, it's an advantage to somebody, but opposition is always strong in democracy, and the APC that we expected this to be coming from, playing this way, I wonder how strong they will be. I think those who conducted the election should have been above board. They would have shown that that this is a broad daylight something that nobody will be able to contest. But so far, with what is happening already, I doubt. Let's watch and see how they were able to go to wriggle out of this the internal party issue to face the governor and other aspirants in the forthcoming election in November.
Okay, so far I can say, and I feel I can stand on these grounds that APC do not yet have strongholds in Anambra State. And coming to the fact that their primaries is just barely how many, let's say, how many weeks coming? That's the 5th of April. It's around the corner. I don't know. For this internal crisis to be coming up now, it's not saying good about the party, and it's not at all. It's not speaking good about the aspirants, because if this should be happening at this time, what are we expecting in the main primary elections? And most definitely there is going to be contesting, there's going to be refusals of the results that comes out at the end of the day, because for each party member they will feel that there has been a backdoor rigging, or there has been a backdoor. Will I say some of the officials might actually be sitting at the back of maybe some particular aspirants. I feel there's a lot of trouble. This is singing a whole lot of trouble for the aspirants. This is singing a whole lot of trouble for the party, because in future times there's going to be a lot of disagreements here and there. There's going to be a lot of contesting. Going to be a lot of refusal. There's going to be a lot. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this. Sincerely,
it's not a really
I'm not happy about it.
Not a good one for the party.
I'm not happy about it. Yes, I'm not happy about
it.
And
because somebody said he who must be called excellency must pass through an excellent process. You know, so if this is happening, and
especially at this time,
especially this time,
around the corner.
You know, even the masses are actually, we have to question the kind of candidate they are going to bring to the table. So, but let's see. There is still time for them. Party internal crisis can always be resolved. Let's see how they resolve it. It may turn out positive for them. That is all.
Hopefully, that's what we actually hope for. That's what we hope for, because it's high time APC rights their wrongs in Anambra State, because outdoors to the public, to the masses, there's the level of awareness they have created in Anambra State, the level of love, the level of support is on the very low. It's on the very low. They seriously need to work on that. They seriously need to gain more support. They seriously need to gain more, more grounds in Anambra State, because I don't know. I don't see them making it far. If this is happening at this time, I don't see them making it far to gaining a lot of supporters come the November 8th election. Yeah.
So of course, for me, I think APC was actually like what we said last time, that I was surprised that they are gaining even the level of support, the patronage they are getting in Anambra. But this one is actually hitting them at this point, even when they are opposition, you know, and they should have been able to hold the house to hold it well. You know, election is one thing, is party is first thing. So whenever it is when you come out of the party and say this is the person you are presenting, that is when the masses will then say, okay, you presented this person, let's see how
can support you.
Followed by your campaign, how you carry out your campaign.
Yes.
But this time around, the primary is still, they haven't even come to the primary and they're having issue. So I wonder what lies ahead. So, but then I wish them well.
Exactly, we wish them well, and we hope that they are able to resolve their issues before the primaries or even before the main elections.
Destruction of properties, deaths trail Anambra boundary dispute. On March 16, 2025, the Commissioner of Police, Ikioyu Orutugu, interviewed parties involved in a boundary dispute between Ikenga and Isiokwe villages in Umweri and Aguleri respectively, which led to the murder of one and the destruction of properties in the area. Having alternative dispute resolutions in mind, the CP seeks the cooperation of the communities to identify the suspects involved and ensure justice is served. Ikioye also noted that the approach has become essential in resolving the boundary dispute between Ikenga and Isiokwe villages and promote a culture of peace and reconciliation in the larger Umweri and Aguleri community.
I don't know, this issue of boundary, this issue of defining boundaries has been a long lasting
become a
situation since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of time, there's always been fights for defining boundaries, and I don't know how will I say the government or the communities can come in to be able to stop these clashes, to be able to stop these disputes, because at the end of the day, there's always counting of losses, that this person died or a lot of people died, there was destruction of properties, and I don't know, the minuses are always more than the pluses. So
there has been a perennial problem between the two towns, or two people. Umeri or Andaguleri sound like brothers and sisters, two brothers.
Of course.
They sound like two brothers, and then where the things got started getting wrong is where no one know. But action and reaction are equal and opposite. There is no way you can hit me, even if I cannot hit you back. Your hand will pain you. It will pain you. So whenever they are fighting, both sides must count losses. So even if you beat the other side, and that feeling, that mind, that consciousness that you have done something is something that will keep beating you. You will have peace within you. And one of the very, very welcoming thing about this news is that the police officer, the chief of police in Anambra State, the steps he took. We talk about in case of all this terrorism, we talk about non-kinetic means of addressing them, and they use it and they work out. So in this case, he did not go to start talking about going to do arrest and do this. No, he followed the step he took is a way to go. I think I won't say that those who ought to do what they are not doing are not doing it, but then I think there should be a multi-level strategy to addressing this issue. One is that let's start seeing how they can start getting the leaders of the two communities together to talk to one another, to accept that this thing cannot continue. One thing you need to know: each time there is crisis, each time the community are engaged in crisis, they hardly develop.
That's true.
Because instead of putting your mind to thinking of how you can bring in one thing that can improve the life of your community or the other, you'll be thinking of how to defend yourself. Well, who knows when next this person will attack? That will be what is in your mind. So if I can bet you, or I can say that I'm sure that this crisis that has lasted for so long in these two towns has kept them from being where they ought to be. And I think there should be a meeting point. There should be a compromise for the two communities to see that this crisis come to an end. And I encourage those who can, who are in position to do something, to actually wade in and see how this this crisis can end for good. Yeah.
That's true, and like you said, I believe this is not just the work of the security operatives, that's the police. The community leaders have a huge role to play, because both communities, they would most definitely be answerable to their community leader, either their village head or their Igwe in general. So it's necessary that the Igwe calls their attention. Both Igwe sits down and addresses this issue properly, or the village heads, maybe his cabinet members, everybody sits down on a round table, discuss about this, declare definitely that, okay, this is how we are going to resolve this issue. This is how this maybe boundary should be shared. This is what we should do to be able to resolve this. And rather than allowing the people to take laws into their hands, killing themselves, destroying properties, that's not the right way to go. That's not how we will be able to look at our look out for our brother-in-law. So I think that's what should be done about this. All right. So let's move to another top story for the week.
Anambra Guba 2025, Soludo confident of second term, convinced of no strong opponents. On Monday, March 17, 2025, during a media interview on the occasion of his celebration for his 3 years in office, Governor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, the governor of Anambra State, declared that he had not seen any worthy challenger. In his words, there is a general agreement among Anambra people that his party, the All Progressive Grand Alliance, has delivered good governance and deserves another term. Furthermore, Soludo noted that while Anambra voters may back different parties in national elections, they remain loyal to APGA when it comes to governorship and local government polls.
Okay. I think with the previous headline, we talked about the Labour Party. I think this is the most of this kind of thing is actually boosting the confidence of the governor because, and then the internal crisis, internal challenges we are hearing about in the APC. I don't know. Most of these things I think are making the governor feel more confident that he is coming for the second time. What do you think?
Yes, no, of course, you on the first place, nobody dare to go to war without telling himself that he can do it. So, on the first place, the governor's statement is a positive statement to himself. Is an assurance to himself that I can do it. At this word, I can do it. So most time, before you achieve certain things, or before you make success, or before you embark on certain journey, you have to actually tell yourself, I can do it. And I think that is one of the things that governor is doing. And beyond that, of course, I think the governor is drawing what he's saying from maybe different angles. One, he believes that his work is speaking for him. And I can bet you, AnambraNews is saying good of the governor. Yes, many AnambraNews are saying good of him. I think one of the things that will have been a problem is insecurity, which he has just addressed. And so most of the opposition that will have come in to challenge him would have come through the insecurity.
All right. Looking at these strongholds that the governor is having, stating on the fact that the Labour Party so far do not have any candidate, and then the PDP has been alleged that they actually gave out a form for a candidate, a representative. So we don't see any strongholds then. And then also coming down to the APC, there has been a lot of internal crisis within the APC, stating to the fact that in their delegate primary elections, there has been a lot of anomalies. So many of the aspirants have been complaining that in some of their wards, there was no proper representation of election officers. There was no election held. And so far, they are saying that the officials have been in hiding. There's been a lot of anxiety among the aspirants. They are uncertain about the results because they have seen so many anomalies that has been involved in this delegate election. So I feel all of this is what is actually giving the governor his strong standing.
In addition to the work he has done. In addition
to it, because if on the streets of Anambra now, even the layman is singing Governor Soludo's name. So I don't know. I think most and all of this is giving the governor his strong footing. It's giving him his strong standing that yes, of a truth, he might emerge the winner in the second phase of, the second.
Not just emerging a winner, but a winner without opposition, without challenge. That is it.
Anambra government will employ any proponent of Okite Odeshi magic found innocent. Law Mefo. The Commissioner for Information, Dr. Law Mefo, speaking at a stakeholders partnership town hall meeting organized by the Anambra Police Stakeholders Partnership Forum, PSPF, in collaboration with RULAC, with support from the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption RULAC program implemented by the International IIDA, that many of those self-acclaimed magicians are currently in detention and undergoing forensic investigation. He stated that any proponents of Okite and Odeshi magic found innocent would be employed by the state government, of which the decision will come if forensic tests clear them of any criminal involvement and prove their practices effective. In his words, if at the end of the investigation nothing incriminating is found about their act and craft, we will employ them. Proponents of the Okite will be employed in our revenue sector to generate revenue for us, while the Odeshi adherents will be employed in our security after testing them with our AK-47 rifle. However, if the test fails and something incriminating is linked to their practice, they will face prison. This is in line with the Anambra State 2025 Homeland Security Law.
All right, then now moving over to our last top story for the week, talking about Law Mefor insisting that the proponents of Okite and also the Odeshi magic, if found innocent, the government is ready to employ them. Okay, this sounds a lot like sarcasm to me.
I think it's being ironical. It's being ironical, it actually sounds sarcastic. The sarcastic statement, I think, because he said if they are found, although that is at the end of the finding, if they are actually found not wanting by the law, the people will be employed in internal revenue, and that means the government, they will be making money for the government. Because so without the government working, I think I foresee Anambra State hiking the annual budget to 1 trillion, from 600 billion to 1 trillion by time, or even more. In fact, they can make it even more than that of federal government by the time the Okite start generating money for the states. I think that is where the commissioner is heading to. But then let's wait until the investigation is finished and then see what next follows. I think for the other people that talking about Odeshi, they will be employed in the security, yes, so that they will lead the security agency who will be combating all these criminals in the states, and that will be a good one. Once they hear that the Okite people, the Odeshi people are coming, in fact they will be on the run, and that is a good one. That is a good one. That is one will say that is the state harnessing the potential of its citizen, and I hope that as they do that to Okite people and also the Odeshi, they will also be thinking of doing it for other people that lay claims to certainty that they actually cannot do or achieve. So it's a welcome development. Let's watch out until the investigation is over, and we see how they will be employed to help the states grow.
Exactly, as you said, let's watch out to see how things unfold. But I think for the area of the Odeshi magic people, it has actually been alleged, there have been rumors on the streets that most of this security operatives that has been employed by the government themselves, the ones that we have existing, that most of them actually go to this length of making use of this Odeshi magic, because some of them, there have been claims that some of them sometimes, maybe when they get into clashes with criminals or clashes with terrorist groups, they get to be shot at, but it doesn't penetrate them. That is to show that some of them actually do engage in this, get these powers from these traditionalists.
Okay.
I don't know if that is the idea that the commissioner for information, that's where he was getting this idea from.
Of course, maybe already some of them are already employed. That is what you mean. Yeah, that's what you are saying. But the government is actually battling. The kind of class of people that are battling are those who are using those things to deceive the people.
Yes.
Those who are using all these things to deceive people. That is what just like the government actually say that they are not banning native practices like native doctor or idol worshiping or rest of them. They're not banning them, but they're against those who are using them to deceive the public, to lead the youth to the wrong path. That is the one the government is actually fighting. So, if from what you said, maybe maybe those people will join those people that are helping those security agencies to fortifying them against the what do I call it? Maybe criminals, so to say. Yeah.
Yes, all right, okay. That's that for the top stories of this week. This is where we come to the end of this week's top stories, and we will be back next week with more stories. As usual, we hope that you follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook at Spotlight on Anambra, and also on YouTube at Spotlight on Anambra, and also visit our website at www.AnambraNews.ng. We have a page that has been dedicated for Spotlight on Anambra. Do stay with us for more updates. For now, it's bye from this end.
Bye bye. See you again next week.